If you have ever thought, I'm doing everything right, so why isn't it working? This episode's for you. You're showing up, checking the boxes, following the strategies, taking the action, and yet something still isn't clicking. You feel like you're working harder than ever, yet the results are not matching your effort. Does this sound familiar? This is what I call the doing trap. And it is one that so many of us high achieving women fall into again and again and again. Because we've been taught that if we just work harder, if we just push more, if we just hustle better, success will follow. But here's the truth that no one talks about: you cannot outwork a subconscious block. You cannot force your way to a goal that your subconscious doesn't believe you're worthy or capable of. You can't outperform a belief system that is quietly whispering, you don't deserve this, or this isn't safe for you to have. So, in today's episode, I'm going to break down exactly why doing more doesn't move the needle when your inner wiring isn't aligned, and how you can use subconscious reprogramming as the most powerful tool for unlocking your next level with more ease and less resistance. So, if you're tired of trying to force your way through the gap between where you are and where you want to be, buckle up. This episode is your invitation to stop grinding and start aligning.
You were never meant for a small life. You have bold ideas, audacious dreams, and visions that keep you up at night. But the truth is, big goals don't come with step-by-step instructions, and success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from becoming more. Welcome to Big Goal Energy, a podcast for high-achieving women who are done shrinking, striving, and second-guessing, and are ready to defy reality in pursuit of the life they actually want. I'm your hostess, Bree Seeley, goal architect, subconscious strategist, and your permission slip to want what you want. Join me as we go beyond the surface level success to explore the mindset, identity, and inner work required to bring your biggest, most delulu goals to life. This is your space to be seen, to be expanded, and to remember that you are not alone on this journey. Let's get into it.
Hey, y'all, Bree Seeley here. Super excited for today's episode. As you've probably noticed, I'm just a smidgen obsessed with the subconscious mind. I think it's fucking fascinating. Today, we're going to dive even deeper into it, and I'm going to show you, ideally, how you working harder is actually not going to do anything for you at the end of the day. If you know me at all, you know that I am a perpetual learner. I am on a quest to perpetually be better, not only in my business, but I want to be able to know more so that I can help you more. So this weekend, I was in a business accelerator with a dear friend and colleague of mine, Sally Arias. You may have heard her in one of the first 4 episodes, I think, of Big Goal Energy back in October of 2024. Sally has this program, which unfortunately she's ending. However, she's giving me permission to teach parts of it in my women's business mastermind, where we went through a profitability calculator. We went through our break-even point in our business every month. We went through our money out and money in. We went through our aligned marketing, our millionaire messaging, our all these things. The very last part that she talked about is mindset, or as I like to talk about, it's brain science. And she brought up a really brilliant example, and I want to lead with this so that you can have something that you're probably already aware of to kind of grasp onto and conceptualize this in a really concrete way in your mind. So Sally talked about how Will Smith taught her everything she needs to know about mindset. So she started off by telling the story that she had seen some interview with him somewhere, and he had talked about the secret to his success was that he could outwork anyone, any day, anytime. He was so proud of how hard he worked, and yet, as I sit here recording this on Monday, April 7th, 2025, his career is essentially over. So how is it that someone could be the hardest working person in showbiz and just 2 years later not have a career. He let his subconscious get in the way of his success. Just like I already said, you cannot outwork a subconscious block. What happens is that our experience of success will always fall to what our subconscious believes as available to us. I'm going to say that again. Our experience of success will always fall to what our subconscious believes as available to us. It's like our subconscious is a glass ceiling inside of us. And no matter how hard we try to break through it, if you're a woman listening to this, you'll understand. Glass ceilings don't break. They don't break. So we can't surpass our subconscious blocks as a glass ceiling, even if our vision of success is all the way up there, we cannot get to it. So mindset and subconscious reprogramming is not about thinking positively. That shit doesn't work. You're still always going to hit up against your subconscious. This also is not about pushing through it because that shit also doesn't work. What this is it's about changing your identity. It's about shifting your rule book and your operating manual. It's about upgrading your iOS because, as Sally said this weekend, your brain has absolutely zero fucking interest in you living your wildest dreams. Our brain literally doesn't care. Doesn't care about our success. It doesn't care about our dreams. Our brain's only job is to keep us safe and keep us alive. So our brain is going to do whatever it needs to do to keep us safe and keep us alive. And oftentimes, because we have such big goals, our brain categorizes those things as unsafe and immediate imminent death. So let's get into why doing more every day is not going to solve that invisible wall that you're bumping up against. Cool? We all know this. We've all been taught that we need to work hard, check all the boxes, and if we just work hard enough, the meritocracy that our success will come. We all know that that's bullshit, right? I mean, come on. Look at the society, look at the world we live in. It's all bullshit. Meritocracy doesn't actually exist. Only really works mostly for one very small population of humans. And even then, I would say it's not working very well for them either. So here we are, taught and conditioned to believe that we need to work hard, that we need to check all the boxes, that we need to be the perfect student and the perfect employee and the perfect team player and the perfect this and the perfect that, and we'll just achieve success. But what actually happens? Maybe you have experience with this. I most certainly have experience with this. All of those things for me led to burnout. All of those things also lead to diminishing returns. They also lead to a loss of trust in self. Because your inner self is in there being like, girl, you're working too hard. You are working too hard. We're tired. We're not taking care of ourselves. We don't have any energy. When's the last time you meditated? How about that yoga practice of yours? And you're basically taking that like inner self and being like, no, don't talk to me. So you're suppressing yourself, and as a result, you stop trusting that part of you. I'm going to share an example with you, and unfortunately, this is a not successful example of a client anecdote. I had a woman that I worked with about 2 years ago, and she was so excited to grow her business. She was barely scraping by, absolutely not profitable in her business, maybe breaking even, but probably not even breaking even. She would come to me each week and be like, I need to make more money. And I'd say, great, here's a strategy. I gave her this strategy. I was like, go on Instagram stories every day. Go on Instagram stories every day and do a featured item of the day and sell that featured item of the day on your Instagram stories 5 days a week. I did the math and I was like, that would literally increase your revenue 20% immediately. So we get on the call next week. Well, she hadn't done it. She wanted a different strategy. We get on a call the week after. She hadn't done it. She wanted a different strategy. And I started to ask, like, what is stopping her from taking the action? Because she had a team. She could have just said, this is a great strategy. given it to her team, let her team put up a featured product of the day and sold it and increased her revenue by 20%, right? She, to this day, 2 years later, has never implemented this strategy. Now, why? She very easily could have done it. Her team very easily could have done it. It wasn't the action that was the problem. I found out through questioning, and unfortunately found out through questioning like 2 weeks before we were done working together, that her mom had told her at a very young age that success was selfish and that her wanting to be successful was actually like verging on evil. So every time she went to go take action in her business and do more in her business, she stopped herself. And it, again, wasn't the action that was preventing her from doing it. It was the subconscious belief that if she was successful, that meant she was selfish and a bad person. I even watched her win an award. I think it was last year or 18 months ago or something. And she, in her acceptance speech, she would not take credit for winning this award. She's doing amazing things in her community. And she deflected taking ownership of her success, not because she wasn't successful, not because she hadn't done all the things that they said she had done, but because she has an invisible wall within her that believes that if she claims her success, if she becomes a successful woman in the world, her mom's going to disown her. Her mom's going to think she's evil. Her mom's going to label her as like a selfish, uncaring, terrible human. It's really fascinating that it was the simplest strategy, and yet she couldn't do it.
If you're listening to this and thinking, I wish I had more people in my life who just get it, you're not alone. Big goal energy women are rare. We're the ones dreaming big, defying norms, and refusing to settle. And that is exactly why I created the Big Goal Energy app. But it's more than just an app. It's a community, a safe, supportive space where ambitious women like you and me can gather, grow, and go after our biggest goals without judgment. Inside, you'll find real-time conversations, powerful tools and resources, and exclusive content you won't get anywhere else. And yes, direct access to me to support you on your journey. Whether you're building, dreaming, shifting, or scaling, you don't have to do it alone. Come join us inside the Big Goal Energy app and surround yourself with women who dream as delulu as you do. Download the app now or visit breesealy.com/community to learn more.
So what actually is a subconscious block? Subconscious programming is the automatic beliefs and patterns that are stored below your conscious awareness. So your subconscious automatic beliefs and patterns are generally put into your inner operating system, your subconscious, before the age of 8. It could have been an offhanded remark that someone said to you once. It could have been something your parent believed. It could have been a TV show you watched or a book you read. Before the age of 8, we are sponges. We are taking in so much information. And the reason we do it is because if our brain had to start from zero every day around doing things like deciding what to eat or brushing our hair or showering or brushing our teeth or any of these things, the level of thought required to do that from a base point zero every day would be way too much. Our brains cannot handle that much impetus for our actions and the things that we're doing. So what happens? 5% of our brain remains conscious. 95% of our brain are things that are kind of running in the background. So if you think about your computer or your phone, there are things running in the background to make it work that you're not actually doing. That's kind of how our subconscious works. So if you have something, if you have the podcast app open or the YouTube app open or whatever right now running on your computer or your phone, that's not the only thing running. There's a ton of shit going on behind the scenes. The shit going on behind the scenes is your subconscious. And the reason it does that is so that shortcuts can be made so that you're not overloading your system trying to remember and do things that you don't need to remember how to do every day. Now, yes, this happens with habits and daily actions, but it also happens with beliefs about ourselves or beliefs about other things, right? Like being successful is bad because my mom's going to disown me because I'm going to be selfish. Money is hard to make. I have to struggle to earn success. I'm not good enough. If you are fighting against your subconscious every single day, it's like trying to drive a car with one foot on the gas and the other foot on the brake. Have you ever seen anyone driving down the freeway and they're like accelerating, but their brake lights are on? Like the velocity at which they are going to ruin their brake pads is insane. You're trying to speed up and yet at the same time you're pulling yourself back. I don't want this for you. Going back to Will Smith, he had his foot on the accelerator. He was working his ass off. He was working harder than anyone in the industry. And yet, he clearly also had his foot on the brake because all it took was one trigger to ruin his entire career and his entire future forever. If your subconscious believes that you're not ready, that it's not safe, that you're not deserving, it will always sabotage your efforts. Which is why, like, yeah, we can try to hit the accelerator harder, but if we still have that brake engaged, we are never going to be able to get to our big goals. So, some ways that this may show up for you: undercharging or not asking for a raise, even when you know your value, self-sabotaging right before something big. Y'all, almost didn't make it to the 10x stage. I mentally got myself so stressed, I physically started shutting down. Fucked up, right? Maybe you get stuck in perfectionism. Maybe you get stuck in procrastination. Maybe you're researching all the time. Maybe you're building a lot in the back end, but you're never actually putting anything out into the world. Your subconscious always wins unless you change it, unless you rewire it. And remember, this is not about thinking positively. If you're thinking positively, you're only in that 5% of your conscious brain. Thinking positively does not access your subconscious. So, how do we rewire our subconscious? Hypnotherapy is an incredible tool that allows you to bypass that 5% critical mind and works directly with your subconscious. Now, I know a lot of people are like, Bree, are you going to control my mind? No, I'm not going to control your mind. It's actually not much different than meditation. We're just accessing a different part of your brain. It is a relaxed and focused state where your mind is actively open to suggestion. Now, I am actually teaching a training about this called The Science Behind Success. It's happening on April 17th and April 18th. And if you're listening to this after that, I'm going to put the replay up online so you can still go to this URL and get access to it. We're going to be going over the 3 keys for finding success through your subconscious. You can visit breesealy.com/science, SCIENCE, to sign up. It is a free training, and I am very, very excited to be coming out into the world more and more with this because, as I've already stated, you cannot outwork your subconscious. And all of us, every single one of us, even fucking Will Smith, is fighting their subconscious every single day. I'm personally working on a subconscious for myself right now that I recorded for myself. And I literally have the next 2 subconscious activations that I'm going to be doing for myself because I can very easily spot, you're holding yourself back right there. You're stopping yourself from taking action. Pushing through isn't going to get you there. Working harder isn't going to get you there. Thinking positively isn't going to get you there. We need a hypnosis. So I'm going to teach you about how to use hypnosis to retrain your brain so that you can just put your foot on the accelerator and take the other foot off the brake. This is so much fun, and it is going to blow your mind, pun intended. So make sure that you come join me for the Science Behind Success, April 17th, April 18th. If you can't attend live, you will get a replay. If you're listening to this later, you can access the replay, breeseely.com/science. I want to share one more thing with you before we wrap, and that is a mentor of mine, Naveen Jain, who wrote the foreword to my book, Permission to Leap, said this to me, and it's always resonated. I think about this all the time. When your mind believes something to be impossible, that thing instantly becomes impossible. But only for you, not for me, not for everyone else listening to this episode right now, only for you. So your belief isn't truth. Your belief isn't what you're capable of. Why not give yourself permission to change your beliefs? You upgrade the operating system on your phone every month. Why not upgrade the operating system to yourself? You deserve to have a subconscious that is on board to help you create biggest goals, the biggest visions that you have in your heart. Thank you for joining me for this episode. As always, if it resonated, please feel free to share it with someone. I will see you next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget, come join me at the training.
If this episode lit something up in you, share it. Text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or leave a review, because big goal energy is meant to be felt far and wide. And if you're ready to go deeper, explore the tools, hypnosis sessions, and support because your vision deserves more than hustle, join us on the Big Goal Energy app by visiting your app store and typing in Big Goal Energy. Your vision, your goals deserve alignment, ease, and your fullest self behind them. Until next time, trust yourself, dream bigger, and never forget, you are here for greatness.